Hey guys, how's it going? So I decided to share some thoughts about this whole thing. It might be just some confusion on Twitter, uh, words poorly chosen, or it might have some more malicious intent with Heather Antos putting her foot in her mouth and trying to phrase things in a way to make it not sound as bad as it is. So Heather Antos starts off by talking about something on Twitter about how everybody's a storyteller, which by itself I don't agree with. Writers, yes, storytellers. Artists, yeah, sure. They put a lot of creative input, the way the characters are designed. Ethan Van Sciver, I had no idea how much input he had with the creative teams with designing things for the Green Lantern. That definitely enhanced the story and added some things, some backstory to characters, just the way by they were designed. Um, but yeah, she goes on to say even colors are letters for storytellers, and that's where she loses me. I don't see how you shading in things with a specific color could be a storyteller. Don't understand how someone who's already, you know, taken words that's already been typed out and then just putting it inside a speech bubble makes you a storyteller. She also goes on to say that every single person who collaborates on the comics is a storyteller. I'm gonna have to go with no, no. That I don't agree with that. A guy later on responds saying, except for Rob Liefeld, and that's kind of a thing. Everyone kind of roasts Rob Liefeld. Yeah, the guy's proportions look a little wonky. We all know the guy can't draw feet to save his life. And he's the guy that gets roasted a lot. But it's normally in all good fun, just messing around. But what she says can be misconstrued. Um, uh, she says Rob Liefeld too is a storyteller in his own right. The last three words are the thing that kind of probably shouldn't have said that in his own right. That could be just misconstrued as saying something else like, "Oh yeah, in your own right, like you're not really a storyteller, you're not really that good, but in your own right, you're okay, you're okay. You can, you're a story, sure, sure." And yeah, the guy doesn't have the cleanest, neatest art, but he's been involved with so much stuff over the last 30 something years of comics. So to just kind of disrespect a pro like that, even if that's how you feel, don't voice it on Twitter. Just keep it professional. That's the problem. Heather Antos lacks professionalism. She does not know how to promote things professionally. She does not know how to communicate with customers professionally, even if there's jousting and stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes that happens from time to time, but with her, it's been an ongoing trend. And the conversation goes on where they go back and forth about him, the guy roasting Rob Liefeld, and people say, well, storyteller is qualitative statement, simply not a quantitative one. So some people say, well, I like one. Other guys like, I like his art, but it's a required taste, and to each his own. So we get that conversation, but the way she phrased it was not good. It could have been phrased better, and we know that because Rob Liefeld's like, wait, what? And she's like, hey man, it was a statement defending you as an artist and a storyteller. Apologize if you took it any other way. So she starts by apologizing, but then she says, any person who creates is a storyteller in their own right. Context is, son of a, SOB, ain't it? So she says that, and it's kind of like, okay, you apologize, but then you just come back with like a sarcastic, snarky remark, and it's like, yeah, you're just rubbing salt in the wound. You that did not help. That did not help. And some other people like, what do you mean in his own right? And somebody says, responds later is like, it means by his own deeds without others. But the way it was phrased, it could have been misconstrued. Some people come at and it's like, oh, he was defending you, and all this other type of stuff. Um, some people will say, oh, Rob Liefeld's just being ultra sensitive and thin skinned. Other people come back to him and it's like, oh yeah, what do you mean by that? Don't take it so wrong, don't get all offended. But the tweet was phrased not the best way, and he comes back and like says like, hey guys, this the way this was delivered, um, you know, was not the best way to handle it. And you can see in his comments. And if you look at the original thread, people have come at him and it's like, oh, it's a compliment. But the phrase "in his own right" kind of just sounds like, it's like, oh yeah, you don't win first place, second place, or third place. You get the you get the whatever prize they have left. You don't get a gold medal. You get like a little badge. You tried badge. Good for you. You get a gold star. That's kind of how it was phrased. Not smart when you're dealing with professionals. Just the way it was handled, the way she responded was not very professional. And I don't know. Heather Antos just doesn't understand that these things aren't okay. And John Mallon even comes back. It's like the guy's a legend. Uh, why? And like she gets back to him and tries like to preach to him. And I'm like, Heather, what have you actually done? Heather Antos hasn't really done much of anything of note. When she's gone, she will not be missed. She will be a footnote of someone that existed at Marvel. She's not going to have any books that are going to be in an omnibus or a trade format or a collector's edition format. No. It's crazy, but it is what it is. So we'll see how this progresses over time. There's also some other stuff with John Mallon of some ideas that he had for some other books that got rejected. I didn't even know he had some covers. He actually had some mock-up covers of what they would look like, and they look pretty cool. They look like the banners. They look like the Marvel comic covers from the 80s. So maybe I'll talk about those later tomorrow and why I think they didn't go through. Some were obvious, some were less obvious. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. What comments, criticisms, concerns, like and share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next.